Breaking news just reaching us. A joint resolution has been reached resolving the crisis in River State. And this resolution is as follows. All matters instituted in the court by the governor of River State, Sir Fubara, and his team in respect of the political crisis in River State shall be withdrawn immediately. All impeachment proceedings initiated against the governor of River State by the River State House of Assembly should be dropped immediately. The leadership of the River State House of Assembly, as led by Right Honorable Martin Amewule, shall be recognized alongside the 27 members who resigned from the PDP. The remunerations and benefits of all members of the River State House of Assembly and their staff must be reinstated immediately, and the governor of River State shall henceforth not interfere with the full funding of the River State House of Assembly. Number 5, the River State House of Assembly shall choose where they want to sit and conduct the legislative business without interference or hindrance from the executive arm of government. Number 6, the governor of River State, Sir Fubara, shall represent the state budget to a properly constituted River State House of Assembly. Number 7, the names of all commissioners in the River State Executive Council who resigned their appointment because of the political crisis in the state shall be resubmitted to the House of Assembly for approval. And number 8, there shall not be a caretaker committee for the local governments in River State. The dissolution of the local government administration is null and void and shall not be recognized. These are the resolutions that have just been reached resolving the crisis in River State. We'll bring you details in our subsequent bulletins. Right, so let's move on with the conversation. Welcome back to Politics Tonight. Dr. Felix, let's talk about money politics. And I'm asking this question because this looks like a demon in the room for many young Nigerians who want to participate in politics. But I mean, in Nigeria, for instance, many say you have to have millions or billions of naira to participate in politics. How do we tackle this?
Yeah, I'm smiling not because of the money as a demon. I'm smiling because of the resolution you just read. So let me just put that in. And really thank Mr. President. I'm not from Rivers, but nobody wants to see Nigeria go up in flame. So we're very glad. I'm glad for that resolution you just read. Now, going back to your question, like I said, that has been the issue we have as young men and women when we don't have the resources. For example, during the past election, you saw how high the nomination was. For APC, was 100 million at the presidential level. The state governors, I think it was almost 50 million thereabout. Down even to those who were contesting for office as youth leaders and the rest. The fees were quite high. And apart from, even if the fees are given to us for free, it takes a lot to campaign. And the average Nigerian youth don't have such resources. So that has been a big issue. I think we need a lot of more orientation. I wish we would love to see Nigerians sponsoring, giving towards campaign, supporting the candidate, not just on social media, giving towards them to go and be able to campaign. And also speaking to our political leaders also to be able to draw more youth together, bring more youth. There's no need to be afraid of young men and women. You need to raise men that will take over the political space in this nation. When you retire, when you guys are old and you can no longer do politics, you need people that will be running the affairs and you'll be able to sleep in your house. We have men who were presidents. For example, Babangida was president. Right now, he's sitting in Mina. I'm sure if there's flame of fire in Mina, he will not be able to sit there. He can sit at home because he has peace there. So think about when you guys are old and you leave the political space. We need men that will be able to run the affairs and take care of the country. What you have labored for, like in our national anthem, the labor of our heroes past shall not be in vain. It will not be in vain when you hand over the baton to the right man. So we need to get more young men. There's no need to be afraid of young people. It's not necessary. We need to be able to encourage them. Money has been an issue, no doubt about it. But we need help in that regard. Speak to the average Nigerian to support when you see a young man, a young woman running for an office. you'll be able to support, and not just demand. That's what people like we face every day. Every day you get demand. Some people will even tell you, oh, you run for president, you have money, give us money. I sometimes shake my head. That's not the idea. We're running to cause change. We're not running to share money, but we need help as young men and women in this country.
All right. All right, then. Let's give you more updates on the breaking news from River State. Some breaking news just reaching us, a joint resolution. Some breaking news just reaching us. A joint resolution has been reached resolving the crisis in River State, and these resolutions are as follows. 1. All matters instituted in the court by the governor of River State, Sir Fubara, and his team in respect of the political crisis in River State shall be withdrawn immediately. Number 2. All impeachment proceedings initiated against the governor of River State by the River State House of Assembly should be dropped immediately. Number 3. The leadership of the River State House of Assembly, as led by the Right Honorable Martin Amewule, shall be recognized alongside the 27 members who resigned from the PDP. Number 4. The remunerations and benefits of all members of the River State House of Assembly and their staff must be reinstated immediately, and the governor of River State shall henceforth not interfere with the full funding of the River State House of Assembly. Number 5. The River State House of Assembly shall choose where they want to sit and conduct their legislative business without interference or hindrance from the executive arm of government. Number 6. The governor of River State, Sir Fubara, shall represent the state's budget to a properly constituted River State House of Assembly. Number 7. The names of all commissioners in the River State Executive Council who resigned their appointment because of the political crisis in the state shall be resubmitted to the House of Assembly for approval. And number 8, which is the last one, there should not be a caretaker committee for the local government in River State. The dissolution of the local government administration is null and void and shall not be recognized. These are the resolutions that have been reached resolving the crisis in River State. We will bring you more updates in our subsequent bulletin. Interesting development there. Dr. Felix, now let's talk about ICT, which holds a lot of promises for youth to contribute to economic development. How can Nigeria tap into this?
Yes, we have a lot to do in that regard. And I'm sure this is an area most people don't even look at. You know, right now in Nigeria, we have a lot of content creators. Most times, that's one title now you hear Nigerians. You hear somebody say, I'm a content creator. And sometimes we think this is a joke. That industry is taking over the movie industry gradually. You go on your phone, you see people creating content. Nigerian youth are making a lot of money from that regard, but there's so much to be done. I'll explain. You know, right now, Nigeria cannot monetize live stream from Facebook. Only 3 countries in Africa. We have South Africa, Egypt, and Morocco. They can monetize, but Nigeria cannot. And I'm asking myself, the largest nation in Africa cannot monetize. What's going on? That's because of the way we have been so disrespected in the international community. And that's why I'm encouraging the Minister of Digital Economy, Tijani, to please do something. Go with a high-powered delegation and sit with Facebook. We have a lot of content creators. There are content creators that make over $50,000 every month. I know this because I was contacted by one of my team. He was in charge of my Facebook, and he was telling me, I'm a content creator, I'm making money, but I cannot cash out. I was wondering, what do you mean you cannot cash out? He needed me to help him with an account from America to be able to do this because Facebook do not pay directly to an account in Nigeria. So right now, a lot of our content creators, they have managers abroad. And this is also hurting us as a nation because the funds that Facebook generates and these content creators are being paid, they are paid into these foreign accounts and they end up paying taxes to those nations, which I can tell you is in the millions of dollars annually. So why can't Facebook monetize, our streams, live stream here in Nigeria. I think there needs to be a delegation to be able to fix that. Number two, even when it comes to YouTube, yeah, YouTube can, but I also learned that Nigeria has imposed over 30% tax on, every fund you generate from YouTube. While a place like America is 20%. And most Nigerian youth also, those who are into this industry, they still have account just because of that 10% difference. I want them to also look into this and be able to reduce it to at least 20% because Nigerian youth are getting engaged in this industry. And I can tell you it's not going out anytime soon. We have so much to be done. For example, you see a place like we have so much shopping going on now on the internet. People can just buy stuff and order. The other day I bought something and surprisingly it was delivered in my place. I was like, wow, this is great, which means a company like Amazon can be introduced to Nigeria, which can create thousands and thousands of jobs. We have to start thinking into this, inviting these companies who Nigerian youth can be able to get engaged in the ICT industry.
Right. So, Dr. Felix, let's talk about Rivers State. I mean, you just heard the resolutions I read out some minutes ago. What do you make of it?
I mean, I am so pleased. And I expected that to happen, because of the few things I've seen about Mr. President. I've sat with him before. I know the kind of man that he is. He's not just a father politically. Mr. President is a father, you understand. And I didn't expect that he would sit down and watch Rivers. You know how important Rivers State is to their country. So coming up with that resolution, it is brilliant. The only people who will not be happy now are those who hate peace. If you're a lover of peace, this resolution is great. And I will really, really encourage the governor of Rivers State and the FCT minister to stand by the agreement they have signed. I was watching it on screen now. I see this was not just verbal. It was written and it was signed. So I think this is great. We have to commend Mr. President. Again, you don't have to be from Rivers to feel this pulse. I mean, I'm excited just hearing that news. You see this smile on my face. It's because this is great. There are haters of this administration who would have loved to see Rivers go on fire, who would have loved to see the governor and the minister. They just like chaos. It will suit them well. That's not what we need now. We need all the attention as possible. Mr. President cannot be running back and forth dealing with Rivers. There was so much to be done. So I am very happy. I'm excited to see this peace. Now, the governor and Wike, I think they should continue from there, creating this peace. There's no need to fight. You all know how you started, and the peace should continue. The president has done his best. We have to really commend him.
Right. So just like it's happened in Ondo State, it has now taken the intervention of the president to put that crisis to rest. Does he have to intervene every time?
Is the father of the nation. If he needs to intervene, I don't care if it's one class rep fighting with another class rep in a secondary school. If the head of the school cannot do it, the governor cannot do it. If he gets to Mr. President, he needs to solve it. He's the father of the nation, and I know he will solve it. I saw this during the campaign in several states. I saw the way he spoke. There was even one private meeting, how he resolved people withdrawing cases. I mean, that was why I said I'm not surprised. I expected that to happen. I would have been surprised if Mr. President had just sit there and watch, his own minister. If they were all PDP and they won't listen to me, I understand. Wike is a minister in his administration. I would have been surprised that this fight continues. It tells me that probably one of these two guys will not listen. But I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see it. If he needs to intervene, he can intervene. Regardless if you're a PDP member or you're a Labour Party member, if he calls for the president to intervene, the president needs to do so. And I'm glad he has done so.
Fantastic. So what do you think other political leaders should learn from this?
Learn from Mr. President. I was talking to some of my team the other day. I said to them, we especially young generation, let me just say, it doesn't matter what party you belong to. Mr. President is a man that you need to learn from. I have learned so much from him. If nothing else, for a man who went through I know what was going on during the primaries. I know everything that was happening. Even coming to the main election, the issue of the new currency that was redesigned, everything to stop him, and he's still standing. I think that's something every one of us as young men growing up, whether you're in the political sector, your business, whatever industry you belong to, the ability to be able to stand firm, even in the midst of staggering opposition. I think that's the spirit all of us should cultivate. And that spirit of unity. For example, I was talking to somebody recently. I said, I love this man, Mr. President. And when I get to see him, I'm going to tell him thank you for not having this vindictive spirit. By now, some people would have gone after the opposition, destroying their property, gone after media houses that were against him, destroying them, revoking their license. We saw it in Kano. The new governor just came in. Just the very week he came in, he was destroying the past governor's property, looking for flimsy excuses. But not this president. You have not seen him go after anybody. Nobody has been arrested. Even people going out saying all kind of nonsense. That's the spirit we should have. A good sportsmanship. When power gets to your hand, don't let it get to your head. You start destroying people, forgetting that you are going to lead there. So we have to commend the president for that, because he was really hated. The media went after him, but not one media station that was penalized. Not one person was arrested. If you think that's not something to think about, I want you to look at previous administrations and see how it has been. So I commend the president and I encourage him to continue. Others, governors, minister, whatever position you occupy, learn from Mr. President. The fact that somebody was against you doesn't mean you go after them, destroying their properties. That's not how Nigeria is going to, how we're going to make progress.
Right. Great way to end the show. Dr. Nicholas Felix, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I was speaking with APC 2023 youngest presidential aspirant and Deputy National Youth Coordinator of APC Presidential Campaign Council, Nicholas Felix. Thank you so much for joining us on Politics Tonight.
Thank you for having me.